Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you all had a good week. It was a good week here. I'm going to talk about 10 of my comfort colognes. Things that I generally wear just for me. I don't wear for anybody else. That's pretty much it. And they're in no order at all. So it's not like a 1 through 10 or anything, top 10. It's just 10 that I like. We're going to start out with a honorable mention, as much as I hate them. Pretty much any classic aftershave. Like this reminds me of my father. These, my grandfather. And then there's a bunch more, but Navy reminds me of my other grandfather. There's so many. Any classic aftershave or cologne kind of just reminds me of them. So like I said, there's not going to be any notes or anything. And I might say a note or two or something, but it's just going to be 10 favorites and might be a long video, but a little reason as to why. First one, I go back and forth on this one. I do like it, but it's not my favorite, but it is nice. Soft, soapy, white musk. And the reason I like this reminds me of my first love in high school. She wore white musk, the oil from the Body Shop, and it smelled beautiful on her. I was in love with her, so of course it did. And it pretty much smells the same. A little less, how do I say it, feminine, but still very unisex scent. That's why. Just when I smell it, I think of being 15, 16 years old and doing all the things 15, 16-year-olds do. I loved her. She was great. Second one, I like, I wear it just for me. It's not a very popular scent. It doesn't last long. It's an okay scent too. It's not bad, but it's different. Heavy note of papyrus, believe it or not. Paper. It's a very light kind of tropical scent. Alfred Sung Paradise. I kind of like the bottle, though it's a little hard to spray. The reason I like this one is it just kind of reminds me of that time right after high school. It's one of the first cheapies that I bought. I picked it up for $5, believe it or not. Shoppers Drug Mart. They had a bin of shit they were just getting rid of. I picked up Opium there and Rive Gauche and all this for $5. $5. I wish shoppers still do that. That's the first and only time I've ever seen that. But yeah, it just reminds you of the time that right out of high school, you didn't know what you were going to do. Life was completely wide open to you. And I purchased it and was like, yeah, I kind of liked it. I wore the hell out of it. I had to. Put on like 40 sprays every fucking couple hours. But the smell itself is, I just wear it because it reminds me of that time. A fucking one of the kings in the fragrance world back in the day. It kind of still is, maybe, I guess, but Chicago Noir. I like this one because it reminds me of junior high days. I had a couple cousins who were a couple years older than me. They were twins. Well, they're still here, so they still are twins. But they got this one year for Christmas, and I remember that Christmas was a fun Christmas because they had come down from Ontario with their family, of course, and they're all staying at my nan's. We're all at my nan's. I wasn't drinking at the time, of course. I was like 13. And people were drinking, but it was a jovial. I don't know what the word is. Good time, people. They weren't drunk fighting. My family doesn't generally get like that when they drink. It's usually fun stuff. The odd asshole and bitch, but whatever. Every family does. So it just reminds me of that era of they were a couple years older. They were more into girl. I was always been into girls, but I was that kid that wanted to get the girl under the tire in the playground for kisses. You know, I never thought, ooh, girl cooties. No, bring on the bitches, even at 8. But no, it just reminds me of that, just that Christmas and that era in general. I mean, it was a few years old even then, but it was still super popular. One that's going to be on my list, and y'all know it, so I'm just going to get it out of the way. Fahrenheit. If you haven't seen my video on it, watch it. Search my channel. You'll get the reason why, but it was the first scent I bought with my own money. Or one of the first. I can't remember if it was the actual first, but guy sprayed it in high school. He was a couple years older again. I always hung around with older guys, girls, because I just did. And he put this on one day in school to go see his girlfriend, and I fucking instantly fell in love with it. And yeah, it just makes me think of that early high school days. And again, this one was older at the time, but still fucking super popular. And yeah, this one was almost, when did this come out? I can't remember when it came out, but it had to be at least 7 or 8 years old by then, or maybe even more. But it was still super popular, still a beautiful scent to this day. That lavender and sandalwood just come out like crazy, but yeah, good times. Preferred stock, late elementary school, junior high. My nan got me it. She knew I was into cologne. I still love it to this day. Nanny's still here, so it's not like it makes me, but it still makes me think of Nanny and the Christmas she got it for me, because she knew I liked cologne and didn't have a lot of money, didn't have a lot of colognes. I was a kid. Again, this was junior, like early or late elementary school. I really wasn't into it, but by the early junior high, I was, because the ladies were, and this was new, relatively new, not brand new, but relatively new in that time. And all the boys was rocking it. All the boys. Story about a guy who lit himself on fire with it. I don't know if I talked before, but if we're going to put on like way too much, because this is powerful. I mean, it's not super powerful nowadays, but when back in the day, man, it was fucking powerful. And he sprayed, like, I am not joking, about 20 sprays of this stuff on. And then lit a cigarette. I mean, immediately afterwards. And his face went, I've never seen it before, never seen it again, but his face just went poof, up in smoke. Burned all his fucking eyelashes and eyebrows off. Little crustache that he had going, like 16 hairs. Burned his skin pretty bad too. I shouldn't laugh, but I mean, he's alright today. I mean, I haven't seen him in 20 years, but sure, he's alright. I mean, this didn't kill him or anything, but it just makes me think of Nanny, Christmas, you know, good times. Gravity is another one. A little later into high school. I said it before, it's almost like a doorway or a step into what we consider modern men's perfumery. It's got that old school vibe, but with some of the aquatics and some green notes. I mean, it really is a nice scent. Again, performance, not the greatest, but this isn't a review. I mean, it's the new stuff, but the old stuff was a monster. And this just makes me think of high school, really. I mean, yeah. Even maybe not a little after high school, like a couple years, and going to the bar and wearing this stuff, and the ladies, especially the older ladies, really liked it. And I liked my ladies a little bit older. Yeah, I mean, it's just a fun time. Like, that's what basically all these are, fun times, except for the next one. The next one is a very personal scent. I like the scent, but I don't love it. I do like it. I'd probably never wear it. I shouldn't say I'd never wear it again. I'd probably never buy it again if it weren't for the connection it has to me. And that is Chaps by Ralph Lauren. I'll include the video if I figure out how of of it and why it's special to me. But basically, junior high, early junior high, my cousin and me would hang out for a while, and we were really close. Did everything together. First cigarette, first drink, 12 years old. I mean, but yeah. And unfortunately, he passed. But I'll include the link to the video if I can, but if I figure it out. But I'm not guaranteeing it, so just look for it. It's I think the video's called Just Watch. It doesn't even have the name in the title because I didn't feel it was appropriate for the situation. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely old school. And he wore it, and he got a lot of ladies. I was a dumpy, round little bastard. Not the sexy beast you see before you now. No, I was a dumpy little bastard, and he taught me how to dress, how to dance. I can dance. I know it sounds funny. I can cut a mean rug. Really good. Really, really good. But yeah, he reminds me of him. And every time I smell it, I take him back to sitting on them school steps when a day, you're you get off school at like 4 o'clock, you do it at 5 o'clock, you go out and you're out till 9 or 10. That day though, that few hours just lasted forever. In a good way. Not like now, like oh man, the days take forever. No, in a good way. Lasted forever. Everything was a new experience. Just sitting on the steps, smoking cigarettes, hoping you weren't gonna get caught by your old man, your old lady. It was an adventure, and that's what that was. The next one I've talked about before in a video too. Just look for it. This was just a rambling video. I talked about juke jump. I really like this stuff. It reminds me of my ex. Hard to explain it because it may sound like I'm fucking infatuated with them. I'm not. It's over. I'm glad it's over. Stuff like that. But still, you can still have good memories with exes. Not all exes are assholes and bitches. And we were poor. I had no money. I was out of shape, really bad. Depressed. I was out of shape because I was depressed. Blah, 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 blah. And got some money somehow. I was working. I believe I got a job for a few weeks. Making really good money. And we were out one day and we seen this at Winners and she bought it for me. I mean, with my money, but I worked for it, but still, the thought. Got a bit of a lot of weed alone vibe going on. Really nice though, really nice. This next one involves an ex-girlfriend again. I didn't take this one out of the box for some reason, so I'll do it now. So just un moment, por favor. Involves my ex that I was still with when I started this channel, so some of you might have heard me call her my wife in the earlier videos. Again, not a bad breakup. We're, just people grow apart. Anyway, this was the first cologne she bought me for my birthday before we went to Montreal. So whenever I smell this, I think of that birthday in Montreal and stuff. So yeah, I love Montreal. I don't like driving to Montreal. Y'all motherfuckers gotta just learn to drive. But and what's with you fixing the roads like every day of every friggin' month of every year? It's always a road being fixed in Montreal, and GPS don't pick it up. So yeah. Anyway, it's a funny story about Montreal. I'll talk about it one day. But anyway, yeah, reminds me of her in Montreal, and sometimes I miss her, and sometimes I don't. Just the way it goes. This next one is a weird one because it doesn't remind me of anything in particular, but it's super nostalgic for me for some reason. And that's Oscar for Men. It was another one I picked up in the $5 bin. I had 2 of them. And as you can see, I'm kind of just starting on the second one now. It's just got a smell, vetiver and green and fresh and airy all at the same time. It reminds me of pretty much right now at home. Whenever I'm away from home, which isn't a lot anymore, but whenever I'm away from home, I always bring this. And when I get a little nostalgic or whatever, I smell it, spray it on, smell it. And the smell just reminds me of being in a backyard, my backyard. And when the trees are blooming like they are now, and the flowers are starting to come out, and the grass is growing, and a few people are cutting it, and you can smell the grass and the flowers and the trees, and it just, yeah, it reminds me of that. And I use it whenever I'm not around home and I want to smell home, be reminded of home. And then in a good way, again, not in the blues way, like, oh, I miss home, and I smell it, like, oh, I'm right back there. My way my mind works is weird. I'm very nostalgic. And which brings me to my next point. Some people have messaged me and whatnot and said this isn't a review channel anymore. I don't do reviews and all I do is talk. Well, first thing, it's my channel, so I do what the fuck I want. Secondly, that's kind of what it's evolved into. I know that. I know it's been a lot of, and there's always been a lot of talk because I ramble. And I have neglected the reviews. Most of that has to do with, there's nothing I want to review. Everything that's come out in the last 2 years has just been the same, to me anyway. Maybe not you, but to me. It either smells like fucking 1 million, or Invictus, or a heavy Tonka base like Armani Code, Sweet Tonka, or Sweet Caramel, like, or Sweet Tonka and Caramel, like fucking Paco Rabanne's Black XS, or XS and XX Night, and fucking Stronger with you intensely, which are nice scents. I'm not saying anything bad about them, but the only thing that's come out in the last 2 years that really caught my attention was Sauvage Elixir for it's a really old school, not really old school, but a good old school vibe to it, but not at $1.69 for 60 milliliters. No, I'm sorry, Dior. You're patting yourself on your back too much, too hard. I'd like to see the sales figures of it. I mean, maybe they're great. I just couldn't imagine. And I've got money, and I'm a cologne freak, and I'm not spending that on a designer scent. It's over $200 around here when you include tax. You're definitely getting at niche prices at that point in time. Which brings me to my question. Do you guys mind the talk videos? I mean, they're still cologne based and they're still fragrance based, or do you prefer the reviews? And do you prefer reviews of new stuff? Because if you do, you're in the wrong channel, because I ain't buying anything till I really like it anymore. Done with that. Everything smells the same. I have a lot of old, like all of these. I don't think I've reviewed any of these that I just talked about. Maybe one or two. I mean, I could review all them. There's hundreds of other old stuff that I have that I could review. Do you guys want reviews of the old stuff? Because I've got plenty. Because you ain't getting much new out of me. Do you want reviews of the cheap clones? I mean, I've got a bunch of them still I could review. Or do you want me to do more talk videos like this? Or do you want a mixture? I'm good with either. I'd like to hear, honestly, this time. I know I say it all the time. This time, if you watch the video or watch my videos on not even a regular basis, even a semi-regular basis, let me know what you want. I will do it. Except for new stuff, because unless I get samples, I ain't purchasing anything anymore. And the sample's going to have to blow my socks off. It's going to have to not smell like everything else. Which Sauvage Elixir did, but at that price, I'm still debating picking it up, but geez, $200 for 60 mils. I mean, that just seems ridiculous to me. Maybe not to you, but to me, that seems like a ridiculous price. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it was just a little stroll down memory lane, visit the nostalgia corner, These are just some of the ones I like. Personal ones that I'll wear just for me. I don't care if anybody else likes them or not. I wear them. I like them because they bring me back to places. And that's kind of, like I said, what this channel's evolved into, or slowly evolving into, is my memories and my nostalgia. And I kind of like it. I'm not saying I'm never going to do reviews anymore. Of course I'm going to do reviews. Like, it's just, lately nothing's really been, I haven't been wearing anything review. I've been wearing stuff all the time, but not review-wise. So tell me what you want. Do you want some reviews thrown in with this? Do you want more of this, more reviews of old stuff? I'm just not going to review anything new, because the whole review will be, smells like this, smells like that. So their take on that and this and that, and that's pretty much be the review. So, but I do got, like I said, I got some interesting old stuff I could review. That's great still, that you could find relatively cheap and smell really good. So let me know, guys. Anyway, all right. Going on too long now. Peace, love, be good to each other.